Chapter 2. Gather yourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired. Before the decree bring forth, before the day passes the chaff, before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you, before the day of the Lord's anger come upon you. Seek ye the Lord, all ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment. Seek righteousness, seek meekness. It may be ye shall be hid in the day of the Lord's anger. For Gaza shall be forsaken, and Ashkelon a desolation. They shall drive out Ashdod at the noonday, and Ekron shall be rooted up. Woe unto the inhabitants of the sea coast, the nation of the Cherethites. The word of the Lord is against you, O Canaan, the land of the Philistines. I will even destroy thee, that there shall be no inhabitant. And the sea coast shall be dwellings and cottages for shepherds and folds for flocks. And the coast shall be for the remnant of the house of Judah. They shall feed thereupon, and in the houses of Ashkelon shall they lie down in the evening. For the Lord thy God shall visit them and turn away their captivity. I have heard the reproach of Moab, and the revilings of the children of Ammon, whereby they have reproached my people, and magnified themselves against their border. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, surely Moab shall be as Sodom, and the children of Ammon as Gomorrah, even the breeding of nettles and salt pits and perpetual desolation. The residue of my people shall spoil them, and the remnant of my people shall possess them. This shall they have for their pride, because they have reproached and magnified themselves against the people of the Lord of hosts. The Lord will be terrible unto them, for he will famish all the gods of the earth, and men shall worship him, every one from his place, even all the isles of the heathen. Ye Ethiopians also, ye shall be slain by the sword. And he will stretch out his hand against the north, and destroy Assyria, and will make Nineveh a desolation, and dry like the wilderness. And flocks shall lie down in the midst of her, all the beasts of the nations, both the cormorant and the bittern shall lodge in the upper lintels of it. Their voice shall sing in the meadows, desolation shall be in the thresholds, for he shall uncover the cedar work. This is the rejoicing city that dwelt carelessly, that said in her heart, I am, and there is none beside me. How is she become a desolation, a place for beasts to lie down in? Every one that passeth by her shall hiss and wag his hand. When we've read through this chapter, and sometimes through some other chapters in the Old Testament as well, there is this question that comes up. And the question is there any hope for anybody to escape the misery and destruction and the wrath of the Lord? And the answer is yes. Now, Zephaniah saw that Judah, in this thing, this is a dualistic prophecy here again, as is so common with all of the prophets. He uses an example of something that is going to happen in the very near future to Judah or Israel, in this case Judah, and uses it as an example of something that's going to happen far, 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 far down the road, time-wise. And Zephaniah looks at Judah and sees that Judah is only one of many nations round about Judah that are horribly corrupt. And that in fact, the other nations might at first blush look to be really worse than Judah was. Now the truth is that the people of Judah were not living their religion. They had adopted the religions of all of the morally corrupt heathen groups around them. They burned their children to idols. They worshiped with pornographic rites of worship. They put statues inside the temple. It seemed as though they couldn't really be corrupt enough. And the other nations were doing the same sort of thing, except they didn't have a temple of God to corrupt. Although Zephaniah sort of wanted to have some idea of what was happening here, same as Habakkuk, Micah, others. The point simply is made as this: the children of Israel had received help, education, and the prophets of the Lord for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, and they had rejected all of them. Of the children of Israel, the tribe of Judah, tribe of Benjamin, the Levites, all those people who are of the 10 tribes that were eventually taken away, it could be reasonably expected that more would have been expected of them because they had received better and more teaching than all of these nations around and had rejected all of it. So the Lord was entitled to be more disappointed with the children of Israel than with the others, because he had worked hard with the children of Israel and they had rejected all of his efforts. That being said, all the nations around were no great winners either. They might not have received the prophets, although we know, at least in the case of Jonah, Jonah went to Nineveh, which was the capital of Assyria, 120,000 people, and he cried repentance unto them. Now, this was a long time before the time we're talking about now. But they repented. God is God of the whole earth. What we see here is that in the day of the coming of the Lord, when all the nations will be judged, when all the nations will be gathered against Israel to war against Israel, and the Lord comes in judgment instead of coming as a baby, that those people who are doing wickedly are going to be judged in full force, in full measure, immediately for their wickedness. And none of the wicked will escape. So who won't escape? Who won't escape? Who will escape, I should say, who will escape will be the humble. Now the Lord has, and I think we need to have, two understandings of what the word escape is. Escape can mean that you do not suffer the trials and tribulations and the deaths and the agonies that might occur to other people. Or it may mean that you endure those, and that when you are on the other side in the eternal realms, that there is no more judgment at all. It is a time of reward for your righteous behavior, for your humility, for being teachable, for being loving, for being kind, for loving mercy, for doing the best you knew how. Even if you had little, for giving and sharing what you could. And that's how you can be humble. Do justly, love mercy, serve the Lord. Those are the humble. That's what the Lord asks of us.